What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. And if you haven't been online, perhaps you haven't seen this, but the Russell Brand situation has now escalated, as many have already covered. YouTube has banned him from their partnership program based on anonymous claims. That's right. That's all it took. And
So, yeah. So this whole situation with Russell Brand is well disgusting, and yeah, it's pretty a rough situation here. And this is of course the Quartering. I'm not sure if you're. I don't think I've ever covered this guy before, but he is freaking out about the cancel culture because of these these allegations against Russell Brand, and there's quite a few of them, and they're pretty conclusive if you ask me. But we're gonna get into it. I am Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. All right. So, I don't normally cover stuff like this. It's been, I usually am just kind of going down the rabbit hole in fundamentalists, YouTube, whatever the algorithm delivers me, right? This Quartering video came up, and I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta cover this. So, we're just gonna start it back. I've got the evidence pulled up as well, so we're just kind of gonna go back and forth. I figure we'll do it live. It seems to be more fun that way. So here we go. So that way we can take your comments and stuff as we go. But let's start this whole video out. This whole intro was weird, and I haven't watched the whole thing, and I don't know if I will if we will make it through the whole video. But we're just gonna try to see what he's got to say initially.
Yes, sir. Start it up.
So he just
This is Mr. Rehnquist from the top floor. It appears Russell Brand is becoming more right-wing. He's very outspoken on sensitive issues on social media. We'd advise running a hit piece.
Well, thank you for the call, Mr. Rehnquist, but I'm sure you'll understand I must respectfully decline.
So as you can see, it's just already this is this is like Alex Jones-esque conspiracy land nonsense that they're really running with here, or the Quartering is at least. But I bet you he's getting this from Ben Shapiro and all them because their names are all mentioned in the title. If you could see up here, but I don't know. We'll see what.
Well,
This
you
is
can always
insane.
drum up some sexual abuse
He makes it like it's so intense. The accusations are what is intense here. It's like, oh my God, can't be making accusations. Like it's unreal. It's a bit much. Come on.
Okay, look, the New York Times are running with it. If we get any blowback, we'll just say it's a right-wing disinformation campaign like we normally do.
Is that him doing a voice? Because it just sounds really weird. It does sound like his voice too. I don't know. Jesus Christ. What? Why is he putting up only like right-wing tweets? That's odd. Like I thought the whole thing was supposed to be the accusations, and then he just throws in, "Oh yeah, and this was a good zinger too from the right." Like what?
what's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. And if you haven't been online, perhaps
Yeah, that was his voice. That was his voice.
you haven't seen this, but
Jesus.
the Russell Brand situation has now escalated, as many have already covered. YouTube has banned him from their partnership program based on anonymous claims. That's right. That's all it took. And that YouTube was just waiting. They were just waiting for a reason to ban him, given a large percentage of his content was talking about the coup and the lockdowns and inconvenient topics.
What?
This is, of course, why
And that's why the allegations happened? Like, that's what, like, it so this is like a conspiracy again. Then why did YouTube platform why didn't they ban him forever ago and just be like misinformation and be done with it? Why would they wait all this time and then
I'm glad that he has a home on Rumble, because once you've been removed from there, it's not much longer till YouTube completely buries your channel. And many are
doesn't
voicing
that
their voice.
say that says so much about Rumble, and that is just gross. I was planning on like maybe making a Rumble like side thing to do like videos where it's they might be saying, messed up stuff or whatever, and we could take it down. But I don't even know if I want to mess with that now. If they're like if they don't even care about like these kinds of allegations and stuff, I don't want to mess with them.
Opinions of support: Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Tim Pool, myself, Luke Rakowski, anybody who cares about truth and cares about, I don't know.
That is so ironic that they say that. And you notice that the people like those of us that are skeptics and stuff, that actually do care about the truth, we don't say that very often. You know what I mean? We're not like, oh, truth, truthy, truth. Like that. That's all they do is like, if they're like, if I just repeat that this is the truth, then the truthiness will come, out of it. It reminds me of that whole like when Christians tell you to, and you're like, why should I be a Christian? And they're like, well, if you just act like you're a Christian, just love God in your heart, and then you'll realize that it's real. It's like, oh, so I got to just pretend to be a Christian, and then I'll decide that I'm right. No, yes, exactly. It's like, okay, that's exactly what these people do. I think with the truth, where they're just like, oh, I just keep saying that it's true.
Actual justice is lining up to defend Russell here. And it's a really frightening situation, especially going on. I've got a couple other videos today. There seems to be a pretty coordinated effort to take down many people that seem to be speaking about the same kind of things. And even myself,
It's funny too that he never considers correlation, not causation. You know what I mean? Like that this is like, what if the people that are just tend to not care that much about their fellow man also have done horrible things to, I don't know, their fellow man, like people, they don't behave correctly. And that's because they're on the right and they don't have empathy for other fucking people. It couldn't possibly be that though.
even though I have my daily Rumble live streams, I still rely on YouTube income as the lion's share of my revenue for my business. And
Exactly.
so it's particularly frightening. I guess I'll use this opportunity to remind you I do have my own coffee company. We roast our own beans. It's available whole bean and
Oh, God.
ground. We are coffee as
Jesus.
organic
How does you
teas.
just slip it
We
in
have
that
cocoa.
quick?
If you don't like those, we have premium candies. That's all.
What the fuck is a premium candy? What is that? Like, it's a candy that you get from Disney World? Like, what does that feel like? Jesus.
Took was claims to ruin this man's life. Now, Russell Brand financially will likely be fine.
Way to like completely cancel out the thing you literally said within seconds. Like, that's insane. He's like, just thinking all it takes is claims to ruin this guy's life. He's a millionaire, so he'll be fine. But his life though is ruined. Like, you just said the fuck ruin. Like, which is it? Wow.
But he is. It is about setting a precedent. They're using him to set an example, and it wasn't just YouTube.
Yeah, and as we should, with all fucking rapists, man, they should all be made an example of, because that's fucking disgusting, man.
BBC iPlayer has scrubbed his entire history, removed shows featuring Russell Brand after YouTube suspended his advertising revenue.
That's what he should be named, Russell Bland. You know what I mean? That's just, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Like, he should just
Has had gigs canceled and been dropped by his publisher, all for anonymous claims. Now,
Okay, so now let's take a look at the evidence. That was this is his claim, all over anonymous claims, right? Okay, well, let's take a look at this. This is from the BBC, right? And let me see if I can see this. All right. Okay. So here's the allegations, right? So you got one woman alleges that Brand raped her without a condom against a wall in Los Angeles home. She says Brand tried to stop her leaving until she told him she was going to the bathroom. She was treated at a rape crisis center on the same day. That's evidence right there. Rape crisis center on the same day. Okay. That's one. Let's see, at which times it has confirmed via medical records. So, boom, there's already evidence right there. A second woman in the UK alleges that Brand assaulted her when he was in his early 30s and she was 16. Okay, so this isn't just and I hate to even use that word, like, oh, it's just rape. No, rape is always awful, but it's of a minor now. Like, holy Lord. And still at school. She alleges he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship. Looking back, she says he engaged in the behaviors of a groomer. Third woman claims that Brian sexually assaulted her while she worked with him in Los Angeles. She alleges she repeatedly told Brian to get off her, and when he eventually relented, he flipped and was super angry. She says he threatened to take legal action if she told anyone else about her allegation. So the four the four allegations are not nothing, right? The fourth woman has alleged being sexually assaulted by Brand in the UK and him being physically and emotionally abusive toward her. So these are not nothing, okay? These are serious, but that's not it. There's more to this, okay? There's a lot more going on here. So I don't really care about his response. He can fuck himself, right? But what are the other allegations? Other allegations? What the quartering dude just said that it was just for anonymous, with no evidence or anything. It was just for, just people, just randos on the internet, just typing stuff, right? No. And now we have other allegations. All right, so other claims made as part of the investigation relate to Brand's allegedly controlling, abusive, and predatory behavior and inappropriate behavior in the workplace. During the years covered by the allegations, Brand had various high-profile jobs at different times, including at BBC Radio 2 and Channel 4, and as an actor in Hollywood films. His attitude towards women was an open secret in radio and television production. Sources told the Sunday Times excuse me. Uh, it is alleged that Brand would undress in the studio while working as a presenter on BBC Radio 6 Music. Dispatches also said Brand made sexual remarks on air about a news reader, which he later implied he had been told by BBC production staff to apologize for. So he was, being inappropriate, just in general. I mean, being naked. What the fuck? While he's working on the radio, it's like, yeah, it's a radio show, but there are other people that work there, man. What the fuck are you doing? Like, it's crazy to me when some of these people think they can just like do literally anything they want. Wow. The Sunday Times said sources had told the newspaper that a complaint was made Sunday to BBC management about an alarming display of aggression and disrespect from Brand. This is said to have included Brand throwing objects across a Radio 2 studio and urinating in a bottle in front of staff and guests, including a minor. So this is not. Holy shit! This is not. This was a while ago. Just pulling his dick out in front of fucking children and pissing in a fucking bottle. It's, this was done. This is completely separate from the four allegations. Okay. Continuing on. The newspaper also said TV researchers and runners working on Channel 4 shows alleged that Brand would get staff to approach young female audience members so he could meet them after filming, some of whom were later upset by how they felt they had been treated by him. So, it has this kind of like sort of rock star feel to it, where they would like, they would like point to people in the crowd or whatever and the producers or whatever, the aides, the rock star aides would run to the crowd and be like, "Hey, he wants you in the back." And of course, people are not going to turn that down. That would be shit. I mean, if somebody's asking some famous person saying they want to talk to you in the back, whoa, yeah, there you're going. That's how that works, right? And so, yeah, it was gross. The other, so we haven't even gotten to the other allegations include as part of a phone conversation broadcast on his radio program, Brand offered to bring a female employee with him to meet Jimmy Seville and agreed at Seville's request that she be naked. What the fuck? Who treats people like that? Like, it's just insane. I don't even know. I'm just like super irritated about this whole thing. It's just disgusting. I never liked this guy, ever. I never thought that he was like anything really special. I think I saw like uh this one like stand-up special that was okay. And it was kind of weird because it was sort of all about him getting in trouble for stuff and him making jokes about it. So even then, it's kind of it. Now I'm looking back on him like, oh, gross. Um, Brand's personal assistant claims she saw him showing friends intimate photographs of women. So he's like sleeping with women and then taking pictures of them and then showing them around to his buddies. Two former crew members on the Big Brothers E forum show claimed they felt like they were working as a pimp for Brand. So, finding him women to just have sex with and throw away. A runner says Brand flashed his penis and insinuated she could give him oral sex when she walked into his dressing room. What the fuck, man? So, yeah, he's just flashing his shit to people that are trying to work in the studio. Imagine trying to work in that kind of fucking environment. Holy shit. How disgusting. A female comedian claims Brand chased her backstage and bit her face. What the fuck? What are you doing, man? Jesus Christ. When they gigged together, it means like they did a show together. Continuing after she made it clear she felt uncomfortable. So he's not good at hearing the word no, apparently, So what have TV and radio production companies said? We're not even done. Look, and this is on BBC, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. On Sunday, the BBC noted Brand worked on BBC radio programs between 2006 and 2008 and said it is urgently looking into the issues raised by the allegations. In an earlier statement on Saturday, the BBC said it had clear expectations around conduct at work, adding, "We will always listen to people if they come forward with any concerns." Doesn't seem like it doesn't. Seems like there was some pretty crazy shit happening, and you guys didn't seem to really jump on this until all of the allegations came out, and now you're kind of looking bad, right? So, oh my God, it's a whole disgusting thing going on here. But let's get back to this guy, who's very concerned about the well-being of the rapist dude.
Now, sure, anonymous claims can be correct, and I've tried to be, fair and balanced.
Well, I'm glad that you've got like sometimes when people say stuff, it can be true. That's a thing that can happen every so often. That can be, just saying, sometimes true things are said out of people's faces. Yep.
In this because, look, we know that Russell had a spicy period of his life where he himself
What the
admits,
fuck is this?
to
What does that mean? Spicy period of your life? You mean like where there was a time when I was just treating human beings like they were fucking just objects that I could abuse and throw away. But it was just a spicy time. Boys will be boys. Like, good, go fuck yourself, man.
many different partners, up to 80 in a month, or this, that, and the other thing. Okay, promiscuity. But from what I've seen, with the exception of just one, which even if that one is true, okay, fine, but it's got to go to court. This is one of the things that so many people, it's the
No,
same thing.
that's not how these things work. It's so weird when they're like, it's got to go to court, man. Well, that's not how it always works. Like a lot of these people are so shamed and like they don't want to deal with this type of stuff. and so they don't just go start filing charges because you like, imagine if one of them filed charges, just one filed charges back then, y'all would have lost your fucking minds and their life would have been ruined. Anyway, let me read it. Jasper says, "Open secret in the BBC realm." Well, hell, yeah, exactly. Because, and that was a BBC article too. So, which is, they would know if it was an open secret or not, right? Jesus. So, Wormfood said, "I've always thought he was slimy, but he's full blown Ren and Stimpy. What the fuck? Yeah, it's disgusting." Jasper said, "Never heard of this guy until a few days ago." Really? Oh wow. He's another AJ, another Jesus actor. Oh, yeah, he's a conspiracy guy. He started out, it's like seemingly like he was trying to do the Joe Rogan thing, except like just trying to have the conversation and bridge the divide. The right and the left just need to talk. They just need to talk, and then everything will be able. We just don't understand each other, is what it is. That was like his whole thing, starting out, and of course, it's completely devolved because I think Javier used to call it like audience capture, I think, where basically you just start making content that appeals to your base, regardless if you think it's true or not. That's, yeah, it's like, I think they call it audience capture. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is just gross. The whole thing all around. He's not a good person. He was anti-vax, like a lot, because that gets a lot of traction, a lot for whatever reason, people being afraid of a medical system that is that has a motivation of money, and then being scared of that, but then refusing to be against it having money as a motivation. Anyway, that's really common for whatever reason. It's just the higher ups are always controlling everybody, and all the people that work in the medical system are too fucking stupid. All the scientists and everything are too stupid to realize that they're creating medications just for big pharma to keep people sick so that they can keep buying medicine. And all the people that do the science are too dumb to figure out, like, it's just they're just being the pawns of the super wealthy without being able to say anything about it. It's like it's this really like weird look at well, it's like a really weird perspective on the medical system, thinking that everybody's just idiots and they all just do what they're told and that's it.
Now, whether or not you like Andrew Tate, I have remained
What?
indifferent on him because I want him to get his
Course,
day in
yeah.
court. And I think that if we can't agree on that, then our justice system has failed, which it seems like it is. And we're sending journalists to jail.
Go fuck yourself. So yeah, I just wanted to cover this really quick. And it's, because this whole thing was just really frustrating to me. And I've kind of updated my position, I think, on these types of situations where, you know, I think most of the time these allegations are true because it just doesn't make sense for people to just come out for no reason and open themselves up to attack. But at the same time, we do need to make sure that we are seeking the truth and making sure that it's not just one anonymous claim, that it's not just something like that, where it's just somebody saying something on Reddit or something that's completely anonymous. No, that's not what this is in any way, shape, or form, right? There's just evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence that this guy did this. And so, yeah, I mean, as far as we could tell with the BBC, was very well sourced. The BBC, I picked that one because the BBC, it prints retractions if it gets anything wrong, and they legally have to report the truth. It's not an American institution. They don't have this like far right and far left news. They don't do that. It's just they have like a fair news doctrine type of situation. That's why I generally go to the BBC for news, or Canadian news too. That's pretty good. Every so often, American news will fuck it up because they'll be reporting something that they think is well sourced. But they will print a retraction, or they will print a correction on what they got wrong. So that's important to look at when it just comes to media literacy. But all right. Well, hey, thanks y'all so much for hanging out. And look, if you want to, this feels weird doing this now, but hey, if you want to spice up your time in the bedroom, go to adamandeve.com. 50 years of satisfaction guaranteed, America's most trusted source for sex toys. If you go to adamandeve.com and enter code Brentley at checkout, you can get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. And the packaging is discreet. I promise. I know. It's unfortunate. I'd much rather everybody know that I'm buying the cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'd even like to be listed what is exactly in the box, just so they know exactly what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But no, they don't do that. They said they made it very clear to me that they don't do that. But adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley. That's Brently at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Get your exclusive offer today. And hey, thanks y'all so much for hanging out. If you want to support the show, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that in the show notes. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get them in there. So if you just look at yesterday or the video before it, all those links to support the show will be in there. But the most important thing is that we stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we will see you next time.